Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, welcome back. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you would like to see more videos like this one, make sure to comment down in the comment section below. Today we're going to be talking about the Greenbrier Ghost. It's a little Appalachian history. If you're from West Virginia and Virginia, I'm not sure about Maryland and Pennsylvania, but those are the two states that have some Appalachian history. So anyway, the Greenbrier Ghost, I'm just going to kind of go over this little story with you, and then I'll try to insert some little pictures as I go along. On January 23rd, 1807, Elva Zona Hester Shue of Lewisburg, West Virginia. If you're not familiar with Lewisburg, West Virginia, it is not far from the West Virginia border. A bride of 3 months was found dead at the bottom of the stairs leading to the second floor of the log house where she lived with her new husband. Her body was discovered by a neighbor, a boy of about 11 years who did chores for her. Her case remains to this day one of a kind event in the American judicial system. The only case in which the word of a ghost helped to solve a crime and convict a murder. A state highway marker several miles west of town sums up Shue's amazing story. Inherited in a nearby cemetery is Zona Hester Shue. Her death in 1897 was presumed natural until her spirit appeared to her mother to describe how she was killed by her husband Edward. Autopsy on the exhumed body verified the apportation's account. Edward found guilty of murder and was sentenced to state prison. And if I'm not mistaken, the prison there is Weston. I would have to research that out and see what I could be wrong. Anyway, upon finding the dead woman, Andy Jones, the neighbor boy, ran back to his home, where he informed his mother and then continued on to the blacksmith shop where Edward S. Shue was working. When told of the situation, Shue appeared in great anguish, ran to his home, gathered his dead wife into his arms, and directed local doctor and coroner, Dr. George W. Knapp, be called. All during this time, Shue held Zona's head in his arms. After a brief examination, Dr. Knapp concluded that Zona died of an everlasting faint, which means a heart attack. The body was prepared for burial, with Shue assisting in the preparation of her body for burial and placing her in the casket, always handling her head. He placed a folded sheet on one side of her head and an article of clothing on the other side of her head, which he said would make her rest easier. In addition, he tied a large scarf around her neck and explained tearfully that it had been Zona's favorite. Zona was taken to the home of her mother, Miss Mary Jane Hester, on nearby Big Swell Mountain. When the casket was opened, Shue always remained at the end of the casket. The next day, her body was buried in the little cemetery on the hilltop. Nothing more was thought of the death other than the usual for a sudden death of anyone. Within a month of the burial, However, the dead girl's mother was telling neighbors that Zona's spirit had appeared 4 nights in a row. To accuse the blacksmith of her violent death, to tell on him, to set the record straight about her dying. Shue had been abusive and cruel, she said. It attacked her in a fit of rage, savagely breaking her neck. Word spread quickly that these visions had convinced Mary Jane that the husband, who called himself Edward, but was really named Erasmus Shue, and was known as Trout, had killed her daughter. Mary Hester and her brother-in-law, Johnson Heater, went to Lewisburg prosecutor John A. Preston, who first disbelieved the story, but after several hours of questioning Mr. Hester became convinced that there was a bias for an investigation. Dr. Knapp was consulted, and he agreed that he might have been mistaken in his diagnosis. An investigation into Shue's background revealed that he had served a term in the penitentiary and had been married twice previously, and both wives had died under strange circumstances. One wife previously, and both wives had died under strange circumstances. One wife was supposed to have died from a broken neck when she fell from a haystack. The other wife died while helping Shue repair a chimney. He was on top of the chimney, and his wife was placing the rocks in a basket with a rope attached to it. As the basket was drawn up, the basket turned and dropped the rock on the head of his wife. An examination was ordered, and an inquest jury was assembled. The Greenbrier Independent reported that Trout Shue vigorously complained about the examination, but it was made clear to him that he would be forced to attend the inquest if he did not go willingly. In rebuttal, he replied that he knew that he would be arrested, but they would not be able to prove I did it. The careless statement indicated that he at least had knowledge that his wife had been murdered. The autopsy findings were quite damning to Shue. An independent report on March 9th said that the discovery was made that the neck was broken and the windpipe mashed. On the throat were the marks of fingers indicating that she had been choking. The neck was dislocated between the first and second vertebrae. The ligaments were torn and ruptured. The windpipe had been crushed at a point in front of the neck. The findings were made public at once, upsetting many in the community. Shue was arrested, charged with the murder, and taken to jail at Lewisburg, where he was until indictment by a grand jury and the trial in June. On June 22nd, 1897, the jury returned a verdict of guilty after only 1 hour and 10 minutes of deliberation. The accounts in the Independent make clear that Shue was convicted of the murder of his third wife on circumstantial evidence and not because of a ghost testimony. He was sentenced to life in state prison following a foiled lynching attempt. A few days later, he was taken by train to state prison in Moundsville, where he died on the 1st of March, 1900. If you're interested in hearing about the mausoleum that is here in West Virginia, it's haunted as well. Just make sure you leave a comment below, and we will see you in the next video. Have a great day.